This video is how to make glue sponges for the art room, but for any classroom setting with students where you want to make gluing and collaging a little bit easier. So I went to the dollar store and got sponges, the cheapest ones I could find, and the most shallow containers I could find. Lunch size Tupperware also works really well. The shallower the better, because the less air in there will dry out your glue sponges. And this is what I happened to come up with because this is what they had. I liked that the lids allowed for students to open them by themselves, because my other glue sponges from before, the kids couldn't always independently open them. And I'm going to take off the sticker. And the sponges, when you buy them and they're in the packaging, are still soft and easy to cut. So I'm going to open up the packaging and cut the sponges to fit inside the container. So I'm going to use the bottom of the container to measure and cut and hope that they fit. And that is what we want to go for. So I already made one, so you can see what it looks like. Then what we're going to do is take glue from bottles that are clogged. My favorite glue bottles, when I am using glue bottles, are the Crayola washable school glue, and I have a video about glue and how to unclog Elmer's glue bottles if you need to know how to do that. These bottles are really easy for kids to use independently. They clog less. The Crayola glue, though, is very, very sticky, very thick and hard for young students to squeeze out. The Elmer's glue is more liquidy, so I end up buying these bottles and keeping them, and I refill them with Elmer's glue because these take an awful long time to unclog, and they're always clogging, and the kids can't always use them independently. So I'm using glue bottles. These are the preferred bottles that I use, and then I have a ton of these that were donated to the art room, so I'm going to use these to fill the glue sponges. And you want to cover your glue sponge in glue, and you want to close it up and forget about it for a day. And I like to date them to see how long they last. And this one I made earlier. You can see all the glue has settled to the bottom, and now the sponge is ready to use. And I prefer glue sponges for all kinds of reasons. They are bigger, the glue sets better with less edges curling, so it's like the best of a glue bottle and a glue stick together. They're like the perfect match. So you take your paper or whatever, they can glue big things, and it puts the perfect amount of glue onto the back of whatever you're gluing. This is wallpaper, and it sticks really nicely and just gives a better quality finish to the project, whatever you're working on. This, when you see it something with color, you can see the amount of glue is just like a very nice amount and just sticks very nicely. All kinds of collage projects. Great tactile project, so that's sticking the feather on there. And I show the kids that when they get glue on them, that they can just rub their hands together. It'll make heat and friction, and it'll just peel right off their skin. So it's really good for tactile things like that, and showing kids that it's okay to be dirty, it's okay to be messy in the art room. And if I'm leaving them for a period of time, I'll just recoat them in glue. If the top gets sticky, you'll see that the glue runs out. I will flip the glue sponge over at certain parts of the art lesson, or if we're using them a lot and there's less glue, because all the glue will be, because of gravity, on the other side. So you can just flip those over, or you can have a student, you can train a student to flip glue sponges over for you and just close them back up. So we want like shallow dishes so that there's less air in them, and they last a good long time. This is one that I made in 2018, and because of the pandemic, I wasn't here. I didn't get to recover them in glue, and it dried out. So it's still a little bit sticky, but I'm going to let all the ones from 2018 go. But they do last a really long time if you take care of them, keep them covered in glue. And so this one is just absorbing the glue. I do think it's easiest to cut the sponges when they're right out of the package. And then I save these chunks to do painting with. I'll cut these and we'll use them for all kinds of painting projects. So I don't throw these out. And when I've made bigger glue sponges, sometimes I'll use the leftover remnants to fill the containers. If you wanted to make a zero waste version of this, you could use a biodegradable sponge and a glass container. The only worry with glass in the art room is that if it would fall, the glass could break. But if you wanted to make one at home and you trusted your children at home with a glass like sandwich container, you could do it that way also. So that is glue sponges in the art room, and I mass produce them. They stack well. I'll have them on a tray and slide them into a cabinet so that I can take them out, and they're easy to pass out. I feel like I'm throwing away less glue sticks because they go through glue sticks so fast that the glue sticks, that the edges peel up really quickly. Like I could have put more glue on this. So I feel like this ends up being a better use of materials, and it works even better. The wallpaper does tend to curl. So I'll show you, oh, it's this one. When you use like construction paper, it just sits really well. Nice and flat. It works really well for foam, for the feather. You can see the feather very well, but it really helps all kinds of projects. It's just fast, it's easy, less curling of the edges. So that is glue sponges. And I've been happily using them since 2018. You can see some of my old ones that dried out during the pandemic. Hard as a rock. Kind of cool looking, but I'm gonna let those go. And these were even deeper and they still worked. These are a little bit shallower containers. So I hope that answers your questions about glue sponges.